Good morning and welcome to Pioneer Soccer Park in Old Brookville, New York. This morning it's an NCAA Atlantic Region third round matchup in Division II men's soccer as the defending national champion University of Charleston Golden Eagles coming in undefeated on the season at 18-0-2, number one in this region. They go into this third round battle against the Westchester University Golden Rams. Westchester coming as the 2 seed at 13-2-5 this season after a 7-1-3 run through the conference, the PSAC. Good morning and welcome. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. As you look at these two teams, it's the third straight season that they're meeting in the NCAA tournament, so already some history between the two. And Charleston coming in having shut out 5 straight opponents, winning last year's national championship, and they are a team that has tremendous depth and talent with several potential All-Americans. The Westchester Golden Rams coming in after losing in the PSAC championship to Millersville in penalty kicks, but they took care of Notre Dame College of Ohio last weekend 2-1, and they are here to battle Charleston once again, who has become one of their NCAA tournament rivals. Charleston in the white on white as we are underway here on what is a beautiful grass pitch in Old Brookville. Purple and yellow, the colors for the Westchester Golden Rams. As Charleston will move it here for Tom DeMario. For DeMario, who is the right midfielder. Charleston plays out of a 3-4-3 alignment, very unique formation, and at times they'll switch to a 3-5-2 if they're really pressing. As the ball is sent ahead, and the right back for Westchester tried to send it forward. And eventually this one was chipped ahead by Jason Pixley, who's the right midfielder for Westchester. Westchester plays out of a 4-3-3 alignment, but it is a talented Charleston bunch that is very good attacking forward and getting very aggressive, led by a terrific group of back 3 defenders, including Williams Nda, who is their center back from Rome, Italy. Tam DeMario, and DeMario will slip the pass along. Touchback for Sam Bethel, starting center midfielder, and it's played along for Jordi Ramon. They look to feed inside for Christos Harolambous, who had the assist in Charleston's victory in the last round. Now the game-winning goal. Good ball laid across Tam DeMario, and this pitch will hold up quite well here at Pioneer Soccer Park as this ball is crossed, and it will be an early corner for Charleston. Temperatures in the mid-30s and freezing as the two teams tried to get loose and warm. Certainly the coaches tried to. Everybody bundled up on the sideline for this 10 a.m. start. You figure the temperatures will get somewhere into the low 40s once this one comes to an end. But it is really cold. LIU Post, the host institution, will take on Adelphi in the NCAA East Region third round matchup to follow this one at 1 p.m. as this ball is swept away by Westchester following the cross served in. Charleston will have the throw. The University of Charleston out of Charleston, West Virginia. A loaded bunch, and talking to head coach Dan Stratford, assistant coach Daniel Smee, that after winning the national championship, they've been quite proud of the way this group has responded off of that. They have not talked about having won last year's national championship once. As here's Leon Croix, the right back. It's really 3 true center backs for this 3-4-3 alignment for Charleston. In this case, they're outside backs in the alignment, or more so center backs by profile. As that ball came up and got an inadvertent handball at midfield, our center referee, Mr. Thomas Snyder, doing the honors. So Westchester will have a restart from midfield. The Golden Rams, coached by Michael Ben, a Lehigh product. This is his 5th season coaching Westchester, and very proud of his team's effort to get to this point and to give themselves a chance, as this ball will be headed into the corner. Chance for a corner for Westchester, but it's kept in the field of play beautifully. Excellent job done there by Tam DeMario, just to range over there, the right midfielder, to handle his defensive responsibility. So here comes Charleston. The connection to Bethel. Or rather, correct myself, as Bethel, the pronunciation. Nick Miola chipped it in over the top and handled by Croyce, giving up the head ball. Here comes a throw for the Westchester Golden Rams. For Westchester, not a lot of road games this season, just 3-2-2. But they were fantastic on their home field, finishing 10-0-3. The Golden Rams coming in 13-2-5 this season. But always well battle-tested playing out of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. As this ball out of the range of Westchester, and the center midfielder Stephen Thompson, so we'll have a throw coming for Charleston. Sent back ahead. Laid along and a chance to get moving. Now for Charleston, now on Jordy Ramon. And Ramon making the connecting pass out wide to his left midfielder, Javier Gonzalez. We've played into the 6th minute. No score, just one corner. It belongs to Charleston, the defending national champions. The winner of this one and Saturday will advance to the national championship semifinals taking place in Pittsburgh this year. So this will give them a nice precursor to what should be very cold temperatures there. Trying to make the turn, Doug Gotia, the center mid. Was almost able to do that with his back to goal. And this ball chipped in by Andrew Slater, but it will find the keeper for Charleston and Ewan Legallo. And Legallo has not had to be very busy this season, surrounded by terrific defense, and more importantly, an outstanding possession team. Charleston here with 5 consecutive shutouts. They're here at 18-0-2. Javier Gonzalez gave them the goal. Charleston's also had streaks this season of 6 and 7 matches of allowing goals. And the possession style certainly a very healthy part of that. As being tripped up is Armando Tikvich, who's the starting left midfielder. So we'll get a restart from midfield for Charleston. Charleston, and when talking to assistant coach Daniel Smee about this team's depth, and it is Tam DeMero. DeMero tried to cut to the cross. Wonderful defensive play by Colin Muller. Will make that actually Andrew Slater able to cut back and take away the cutback from DeMero. But the strength of this Charleston team this season on the field has been their depth. That they have unbelievable depth, maybe a team deeper than last year's national championship team, where they can come in and not have a drop-off. Several players of great starting quality for most Division II teams that would be high-level players. As that ball sent out by Ramon. Nick Miola with a toss ahead, Doug Gotia. And Gotia losing and unable to make the turn. And that depth has caused this Charleston team to stay remarkably sharp. Part of why they're 18-0-2, it's not just the starters, the players that are out there, but the players that have been pushing them to stay that sharp, to be on the field. As DeMero lays it off, Javier Gonzalez, and moved along, Jordy Ramon. Ramon tries to send out Gabriel Cabral, dangerous player, potential All-American from Brazil, redshirted 2 years ago, but he is a very pacey player. He has not yet gotten a chance to motor ahead and get a touch. Will Marshall on the goal kick. He's in goal for Westchester. And I want the Golden Rams of Colin Muller. So Muller will play either a left forward or right wing forward position. Muller, as he sweeps it across, he was looking to connect with Stephen Thompson. Here's the layoff out wide, Nicola Miola. And Miola, as he laid it in, head ball won by Williams and Da. And said to be dominant in the air, as Coach Daniel Smee described. He wins every ball. DeMero A little bit of shove to force off the defender before DeMero exchanges it with Leon Croyce. Westchester trying to apply pressure. And the outlet for Charleston is their keeper as they played it back to Legallo. Charleston has certainly established a tempo into the 10th minute of this first half here at LIU Post in Old Brookville on a very chilly morning with the temperatures in the mid-30s as we get started and creeping just a few degrees into noon. Croyce and Ramon with room. Ramon with the layoff, looked to lead Harolem Boos. And finally Westchester able to possess just for a brief second before they play it back to Ewan Legal. And Legallo, who is a very athletic keeper, he's had a super season in goal, but he has not had to face many shots. But when he has, Dan Stratford's been pleased with his elite shot-stopping abilities. And they are not afraid to use him in the sense like as a field player, as an outlet. Finally, Westchester, as they look to try to spread Gotia forward, could not get it. Gabriel Cabral. And Cabral will pick up the foul in a physical battle engaged in midfield with Andrew Slater. The Golden Eagles with a restart at midfield, just inside of midfield. Javier Gonzalez. And Charleston will just play it short. And in talking to the Charleston coaching staff about this team, and they've truly been cruising along at 18-0-2. But still asked, what's their area of improvement at this juncture to max out this team's potential? And it's to adjust to the game that teams have tried so many different tactics against the Golden Eagles this season to throw them off, to level the playing field a bit, and adjusting to that. Whether it's teams that play a tight shell, teams that try to put them under pressure, play very direct, different shapes and systems, as DeMero shows good patience. And finally, Colin Muller is able to come up with it for Westchester. Muller, and Muller will be tripped up, and here comes a foul and a restart for the Golden Rams. And this is an area where Westchester has to be dangerous in. So the Rams to set this one up. We'll see if it'll be Colin Muller to run through. Muller does run through. Numbers into the box for Westchester. And it's a low service that could not be handled cleanly. Then the shot, this one rings in. It's a finish. Westchester, the 2 seed, has the lead early on the defending national champions. What a rocket from Stephen Thompson. Thompson able to take a broken play and deliver. What a strike as Westchester has the lead. Well, they had to be dangerous on any chance they would get against Charleston, and they certainly do. It is a brilliant strike from Thompson. Thompson, who had the game-winning goal the last time out against Notre Dame College of Ohio in the second round. And the goal delivered here at LIU Post. It is 1-0 Westchester. 5th of the season for Stephen Thompson. A rocket of a shot, cutting it across, and able to get his body behind it, put it off the far post and in. And for Charleston, it's the first goal they've allowed since mid-October. And I say that as an exaggeration, but it's still 5 matches that they had come up with shutouts. And Charleston finds themselves in a different position trailing in an NCAA tournament game. Third round action with the winner to play here Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. DeMero. And DeMero hoping for the foul. He's able to get up with Miola defending. And here's another opportunity for Stephen Thompson. Thompson, as he played it across for Pixley. Able to range over as Armando Tikvich, who's the left midfielder. Chip over the top. That's handled by the Golden Rams, as they have some great energy. Westchester trying to unseat the defending national champs. As we have a Westchester player down. Finally the ball won in the middle of the field by Gabriel Cabral. DeMero. And the check back is Sam Bethel. Pressure on Croyce, but the outlet is Enda. Now the Westchester player is finally to his feet, and I could tell from here certainly the way that Colin Muller went after the challenge, and he stuck his foot in there, and it may have gotten it jammed a bit as he tries to walk it off. The goal by Stephen Thompson came in the 13th minute. And Muller is going to try to walk it off. So Westchester will give up the courtesy throw. Charleston with Williams Enda. Enda, who comes to Charleston from Rome, Italy. A very refined player. As a ball laid over the top, and here's Will Marshall. The match had an early corner in the second minute for the Golden Eagles. Otherwise, they have had the significant possession advantage. But only one chance in a dead ball restart for Westchester. They had to be dangerous on it. Coach Michael Benn emphasized that if they get a couple of chances against this elite possession team, they need to capitalize on one or some of them. And they do on the first one. Cabral. Croyce will swing it along in space for Jordi Ramon. Making the connection with Haralambous. Christos Haralambous, who's a terrific player on the outside as a left midfielder. And now the late challenge being called by Thomas Snyder, the official, against Tam DeMero. So the Golden Rams have a chance to exhale after chasing the game here. They look for Gotia. Ball, though, won by Croyce. Javier Gonzalez to check back. And room out wide for Tikvich. Or Tikvik, rather. Armando Tikvik. Ramon with a lot of room on this near side for Croyce. They look for Cabral over the top. Marshall, aggressive at the edge of his box. Among the Charleston coaching staff's thoughts that they've been 18-0-2 this year, that a difference this season has been they haven't battled the same kind of adversity that they did last year. Gotia, and Gotia tried to force it through against Williams Enda, and almost got the final touch. Thompson will leave it out wide. Miola will blast it off of Cabral, and here comes a Westchester throw. But a year ago, Charleston lost in their conference tournament. And that was quite the refocusing for a super talented team to go on to win the national championship. This team hasn't had that. But that might have to be today. And to climb out of an early 1-0 deficit. Sandy Phelps, the right back, is able to swing it over. Colin Muller. Muller. Good pressure by Harold Lamboose. Step forward by Cabral. And whirling around there was Javier Gonzalez. He locates DeMero. Westchester with the 1-0 lead. The Golden Rams located in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Space again for Ramon. Westchester's been able to keep its shape in a 4-3-3. With the holding mid, Andrew Slater covering a lot of ground. And can the Golden Rams just find a way to disrupt Charleston for stretches? They look to send out DeMero, and this is a wasted ball for Marshall. Almost a frustration pass released by Charleston. And the Golden Rams, and they'll get plenty of satisfaction from that to slow the pace of this game. Shots are just 1-0. The goal by Thompson. One corner belonging to the Charleston Golden Eagles. Harold Lamboose. And he was taken off the ball by Pixley. Trying to avoid the foul was Pixley. And did a good job of being subtle with it. But Charleston to recover. Croix. And Cabral. And Cabral body off possession by the center back Craig Potts for Westchester, who made a strong step forward, a long and rangy step forward. Enda. Tikvik was able to check back for the possession. Ramon for Croix. Down the middle as they look to send the striker center forward Freddie Tracy. And the three forwards for Charleston in their 3-4-3 alignment. Tracy the center forward. Cabral the right forward. And Christos Harold-Lamboose, neither of which have been able to check back for the ball greatly. Harold-Lamboose has been able to check back much more to the inside of the field. But if you're Westchester, you want Cabral in particular to get his touches much closer to midfield and with his back to goal, where he can be least dangerous and least pacey. At Westchester, meanwhile, they've been stingy defensively themselves. The goal by Thompson was the 35th they've tallied this season. They have only allowed 13 this year. 10 shutouts by Westchester this season, with Will Marshall accumulating 6 of them with a .67 goals against. Croix and DeMero. This time we'll check back with the width of the field. And there's the through ball coming from Cabral. DeMero trying to turn the corner. And DeMero was briefly, but he was not able to get the service across as Westchester howls in satisfaction. Craig Potts, again, was able to cut him off, the center back. And the Golden Rams, whenever you face a team like Charleston, and talking to head coach Michael Benn, of course you want to have some possession time, but you want to bend but not break is one of the themes going into this game. And we'll get a late challenge in the foul against DeMero. So Westchester, again, this could be a dangerous restart, and they're going to send some numbers forward on a cold day. The center mid, Daniel Grindrod. And Grindrod with the ball. They'll find the top of the box, Andrew Slater. And Slater was wiped out cleanly. Enda. And Williams Enda will eventually drop it back with Westchester able to get back defensively. DeMero. Croyce able to slip the pass through. Ramon. Touch from Cabral. And Cabral looked to get the return. That was Tikvik. Armando Tikvik again. Ramon to the feet of Tikvik, the left midfielder. Ball played in by Javier Gonzalez. Looked to get it to him again. And then we get an inadvertent handball with Pixley able to defend for Westchester. What an opening half. The talent displayed by Charleston. A program that may have multiple All-Americans this season. But it is Westchester, the 2 seed in the NCAA Division II Atlantic region with the 1-0 lead on a goal in the 13th minute by Stephen Thompson. Goal was unassisted following a restart. And it was about a 19-yard blast. The kind of special goal that you imagine it would take to defeat the defending national champs. Tikvik, and the pass too far ahead, Muller. Muller to try to send out Doug Gotia. And Gotia unable to range onto it. DeMero, very calmly to lay it across for Gonzalez. Ramon. As Bethel dropped it back. Croyce, finally to check back, is Harold Lemboos. And Charleston looking for gaps. Tikvik. Now Tikvik will make the penetrating run. Layoff came to Javier Gonzalez. DeMero. DeMero. A good check back. And then the return pass from Javier Gonzalez as he sailed it through. Another sequence where Westchester able to hold on and play strong positional defense. Best 2 chances for Charleston have come through this right side with DeMero trying to turn the corner. And now Gonzalez for Armando Tikvik. Under 19 minutes to play in this opening half. Charleston still without an official shot. DeMero. And trying to send out Croyce. Enda, now trying to space the field better. Ramon. Cabral stepped in too hard by Sammy Phelps. Harold Lemboos. And a ball sent over the top. Better connecting pass there. And now DeMero, a chance for a service. Numbers to the box for Charleston. Marshall stayed in. Head ball won by Phelps. Cabral was the target. Best diagonal through ball that the Charleston Golden Eagles have had in the first half. Cabral, known to have a super first touch. And could be a first-team All-American. And Cabral tried to send out Tikvik. He's able to recover. Cabral, a Brazilian who had redshirted and gotten adjusted to the physicality of the American game. And that Charleston has been very deep the last couple of seasons, too. And he had to get stronger. DeMero. Harold Boos. Through ball ahead, Gonzalez. And Gonzalez unable to get onto the end of it. Phelps is able to send it down the line. Ramon. Harold Boos. And as you look to find the center forward there, Freddie Tracy, who has had very little touches. So important for Westchester, as I hear Coach Michael Ben yelling over to his team, reminding them to stay in shape and in position. Leon Cruyff. Layoff for DeMero. Tickvik. As Ramon steps forward, Cruyff. And trying to pressure him was Stephen Thompson. And the ball blasted out. It had been about 2 minutes since Westchester had even touched the ball for a potential clearance. But it remains 1-0 Westchester Golden Rams, with the winner playing the winner of either LIU Post or Adelphi right here at Post. That game scheduled to go at 1 p.m. Loose ball, Gotia, and coming out to play it well, Ewan Legallo. And Legallo had to be at the very top of the box. Doug Gotia nearly played it cleanly and would have been in. Great anticipation. Into the 30th minute, Charleston coach Dan Stratford will have 3 subs coming in. Westchester will make 1. Danilo Diaz.
Entering the match for Westchester, number 9,
David Aturiandio. And the third substitute,
number 2, Danilo Diaz.
Diaz, will come in to replace DeMero at right forward.
Number 11, David Aferandio.
And Ettore Balistracci is the third substitute. Balistracci replacing Tracy at center forward. First touch for Danilo Diaz. And Diaz. Cabral will remain patient. Substitute for Westchester will be Eric Greer. So Greer comes in, looks like at the right winger position. And rather, DeMero is now moved actually to the left, so it looks like it was Tickvik, the player that he replaces. Diaz, Cabral, the return to Diaz, back in the middle of the field on the strong turn, Balistracci, Harold Boos, a switch from Gonzalez. Harold Boos, and eventually be pivoted by Endata Cruyff. As it was served in, Cruyff for Diaz. And this ball is going to belong to Charleston. Westchester's had 2 restarts as motoring ahead, Balistracci. And Balistracci, with his cross, knocked off of the body of Craig Potts. Here comes a Charleston corner. So the 1 seed has just its second corner despite all the possession time. Service with 12 minutes to go. This one to the near post. And the flick on could not be handled. Enda tried to slip it. And it'll be an ensuing corner kick. So Charleston has played both of them to the near post. Looking for the initial flick on. And this one further that Marshall handles. No traffic in front of Will Marshall. And Westchester surviving another extended possession by Charleston. Head ball was won by Gonzalez and Ramon. And back we go with Charleston, able to command the game despite trailing 1-0. Haralambous. Diaz. And on a day like this where it is so cold, 35 degrees at game time, how difficult it can be for substitutes to be ready. For Westchester, Michael Ben will make a substitute in his center forward. Doug Gauthier will sit as Shane Hardy replaces him with 10.5 to go. And Gauthier nearly generated a one-on-the-keeper opportunity off of a good anticipation and interception. Thompson able to check back to the ball, and it's won by Slater, the holding mid. Swept ahead by Miola, the left back, and it's a throw for Charleston. And the shot by Thompson in the 13th minute was a rocket. No chance for Ewan Legalo. One of those special kinds of goals that it takes to win this time of year. And the Golden Rams have gotten it. And now can they get to the half? And a chance to regroup against the wave of offensive pressure that Charleston can put on teams. Good ball laid ahead. Bellistracci. And Ettore Bellistracci with the ball carrying out. Bellistracci thought there was a touch. Strong defending from Kyle Hoops, the other center back that plays with Craig Potts. And that back line for Westchester, Sammy Phelps, the right back, Nick Miola, the left, with Potts and Hoops, the center back. So far, no mistakes. DeMero, the layoff. Phelps is able to keep it in play. Muller forces it along. Enda is able to read the play. Diaz. Cabral. And then Slater will rip it forward, and then a late challenge by Cabral. Thomas Snyder is going to make sure that Slater is okay, as he got him very late. Andrew Slater, one of the players that is so brave on this frigid morning, that is not going with the long sleeve undershirt. Sammy Phelps driving it to the top of the box. Slater laid it along. Ramon down the middle. Then that connection to Ettore Balistracci. And Balistracci tried to turn on Phelps. And Phelps wasn't buying it. We'll get subs from both teams. Ahead of a goal kick from Will Marshall of Westchester, the Golden Rams will bring on Brent Miller to replace Daniel Grinrod at center midfield. And Charleston will bring in Manuel Perez now for Tam DeMero. So Perez will come in an outside midfield spot. With 7 minutes to go in the first half. So it's now Miller and Hardy among the forwards for Westchester just to apply enough pressure. Entry to Gonzalez. Ewan Legalo, and calmly will keep it right on this great flat surface here. It's a natural grass field here at LIU Post. And while it does take a beating during the soccer season, but it holds up quite well. It tremendously plays into the hands of possession or super possession-oriented teams like Charleston. And fortunately, while snow is in the forecast for New York for today, and maybe it'll still arrive, a small sprinkling, but it was said to be arriving in the New York metro area sometime in the morning. Phelps, as he's able to chip over the top. Hardy to check back for possession. Shane Hardy. Colin Muller looks for Hardy. Another head ball won by Williams Enda, who dominates in the air. 1-0 Westchester. Hardy, as Cabral seemed to make a subtle contact with him. And on the push ahead, Perez. Diaz. Diaz service. This is blasted off the body of Miola, and it'll be a deep throw. Entry comes to Perez. And Perez is able to turn and service. Here's a ball at the edge of the box, Harold Lamboose. And getting there quickly is Eric Greer for Westchester. He's able to serve it out to midfield and prevent a potential strike. Hoops able to get there first and wheel it back to Will Marshall. And Marshall will play it short. Sammy Phelps, they're trying to make the run. The check back by Muller. Cabral. And the return as Manuel Perez is able to sprint his teammate out wide. And then the fine tackle, a sharp tackle made out wide by Westchester. Excellent play made by Eric Greer. Ramon able to win it. And Gonzalez. And there's the late challenge. Gonzalez held on to it for a while before Andrew Slater went after the tackle. And Thomas Snyder giving his explanation. And Gonzalez wanted to connect with Danilo Diaz on this near side and held on to it. And Slater decided to go for it. Diaz with under 3 minutes to go. Harold Lamboose. Gonzalez and along to Ramon. Diaz with 2:35 to go. And trying to accelerate with Cabral making the diagonal run. And his cross blasted off the body of Miola. Charleston to settle for a throw. Charleston has had 3 corners. One very early as Perez tries to play it to himself. Ball to the feet of Gonzalez as he strikes from distance. And it is well off. You won't see Charleston attempt those kinds of strikes often. Well, maybe with a lack of patience in that sense. So that is the first official shot by the Charleston Golden Eagles. And it comes here in the 43rd minute. And a ball out wide is David Acherandio trying to turn. Cabral to win it for Cruyff. And instead, actually, it'll be Diaz. 1:20 to go, first half. 1-0 Westchester on a goal in the 13th minute by Stephen Thompson. The shots just remarkable, one apiece. Despite the overwhelming possession time by Charleston, I'd estimated at 95%.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Perez. As Perez slips it through, Phelps is able to step in front. And then the foul called against Charleston. More tough defending by this Westchester back 4 that's just yielded 13 goals this season. With 35 seconds to go in the first half. Head ball off of Thompson. And Muller, it'll go off of Perez. Westchester will have one throw, and they're going to get to the locker room holding and clinging to a 1-0 lead.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Golden Rams celebrate. They're the 2 seed to try to upend the defending national champs. And it is Charleston trailing at the break 1-0. Shots just one apiece. The goal, a brilliant strike off the foot of Stephen Thompson of Westchester. A restart that was played into the top of the box. And as the ball ricocheted back to the right edge of the box, about a 19-yard rip by Thompson going across the face of the goal from the right side off the far left post and rattling it in past Ewan Lagallo, and that's where we stand in this Atlantic Region third-round matchup. Winner to take on either LIU Post or Adelphi on Saturday. We'll take a timeout and be back in about 14 minutes to bring you the second half. Top-seeded Charleston trailing 2-seeded Westchester 1-0 at the break. Back at Pioneer Soccer Park in Old Brookville, New York, campus of LIU Post University. On a frigid morning, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk bringing you this NCAA Atlantic Region third round battle in men's soccer. And the number 1 seed and defending national champion Charleston at 18-0-2. They trailed 2-seeded Westchester 1-0 as we're about to start the second half. The goal scored by Stephen Thompson of Westchester coming in the 13th minute. Just the 4th goal conceded all year by Charleston. They've come in outscoring teams 54-3. And just the 2nd goal conceded by starting goalie Ewan Legallo. As Westchester in the purple and yellow, Charleston in the white on white, the higher seam. And we are underway with Javier Gonzalez, able to spray the ball out wide. And for Westchester in these frigid conditions with temperatures in the mid-30s and rising just a bit, but with potential snow flurries on the horizon today, we'll see if the weather and how the teams will react and respond to sitting a bit. And here's a potential cross that's sent in. This is an opportunity. Marshall has to make the save. Will Marshall to stop on the great look by Tam DeMero. A good cross into the 6 and a rip from DeMero. And remember that one. Coming here in the 46th minute. And Charleston determined to get this game even. Cabral able to win it. Will Marshall having to fight it off. DeMero did have far netting to shoot at. Phelps, as he looked to send out Gotia. Trying to corral loose ball. He'll try to power it through and got the shot off. Wide over the top of Ewan Legallo. But Doug Gotia was able to collect that ball. It fell for him just enough. And from a difficult angle, maybe the first strike or on the first touch might have been more threatening. He took it wide and then looked to drill it. So each team with a scoring opportunity after scoring opportunities were tough to come by in the first 45. Shots were just one apiece. Manuel Perez, and he begins this second half on the field for Charleston coach Dan Stratford. And Charleston has maintained its shape of playing the 3-4-3. Westchester in a 4-3-3 alignment. And we'll see at what juncture is there a tactical change made. And how will the Golden Rams approach it? Do they try to survive the remainder of this second half and play a lot more of a defensive shell as Perez loops it over the top for Freddie Tracy back on the field. Tracy for Cabral. And Cabral across. There's room for Perez. And then Perez lost it on the first touch. And Westchester unable to keep that in was Jason Pixley. Doug Gotia. And it'll be played back to Ewan Legallo. 3.5 minutes in, second half. Already each team with a shot. Gotia, the check back to it, then trying to leave it for Daniel Greenrod. And then the foul against Westchester as Cabral taken down. So here is by far the best restart opportunity for Charleston. And they can be deadly here with Cabral. So Will Marshall on high alert. Cabral with a strike and a head ball sent over and onto the top netting. It's Williams Enda, the center back, that got in deep. The goal scored by Westchester was the first conceded by Charleston since October the 21st, when they had a 2-1 win over Notre Dame College of Ohio. They come in off of a 1-0 win in the second round against Millersville, a fellow PSAC school for Westchester. Croyce, after the ball was won in the middle of the field by Gonzalez. And look for DeMero. Tam DeMero. Perez. And Cabral will push it further out wide. Space for David Acherandio. Perez. And Perez took it to the 18. Phelps, though, will clean it up and send it out. Croyce will try the other side. Delano Diaz. And Charleston coach Dan Stratford has only returned DeMero in this second half from the substitutes he made late in the first. DeMero on the service. And here comes the fourth corner for Charleston. So the Golden Eagles to set it up. 54 goals scored in the season. They've had 6 many times this year, 2.7 goals per. David Acherandio will deliver the service, and they're going to send Cabral away from the short corner and put him into the box. Acherandio to the back post. Marshall punches it out. Perez. And eventually Gotia will force it out. That will be a goal kick to Marshall. So Westchester hangs on, and they survive that service. Some of the remarkable numbers put up by this Charleston team. And while they've scored 54, but they've done it, as Dan Stratford and assistant coach Daniel Smee have talked about, with great balance. That they don't have a double-digit goal score out of that when you think about how many goals they've had. Christos Haralambous has 9 assists. He's flirting with double digits there, but leading scorer Gabriel Cabral, a modest 7 goals, 3 assists. Now, many games he is not necessarily playing. I'd estimate half the season he's probably played somewhere in the vicinity of 70 minutes, just to the lopsided scores. So he has not been able to, in fairness to him, play full-time maybe if all the games were ultra-competitive. But they have superior balance up and down the lineup. But Cabral and Haralambous lead the team with 17 total points, doing it in different ways. Freddie Tracy, the center forward, is in a tie with Cabral with 7 goals himself. And he's a finisher. This is Cabral to quarterback. Endai here for Ramon. And Cabral trying to go outside. Muller will handle. Ramon over the top looking for Tracy. Able to get there is Kyle Hoops. Tracy to recover it, edge of the box. And then he's beaten to the ball by Kyle Hoops again. Space for Gonzalez. Perez stepped into by Hoops. Hoops staying with Perez. And Perez trying to get to the wide side. Sends a service in, and it's a short side wide. Clever ball sent in by Perez for Freddie Tracy, but it's well to the short side. And a pause for Westchester and a goal kick for Marshall with the first 10 minutes gone of the second half. Westchester's held a 1-0 lead on their lone shot of the first half in the 13th minute by Stephen Thompson. Gotia tried to apply pressure. Diaz looks for DeMero on the delivery. And this wide ball that Tam DeMero will get to. DeMero will range over. And now looking for the service was Freddie Tracy. Deep throw coming for Charleston. As this one is sent across and handled by Craig Potts, the other center back. DeMero to recover. Charleston with the overwhelming, I'd estimate 95% of the time, possession advantage in the first half. Diaz. Danilo Diaz checking back as Cabral looked to flip a through ball in for Perez. That was denied. And Westchester's done a great job tracking defenders and staying compact and organized and understanding that one misstep of a detail against this kind of a team is going to cost you. Perez. Diaz to get wide. Here comes the service. Marshall stayed in, and the head ball had to be won by Phelps. Man running the middle of the field was Cabral. Croyce made the long run, out of bounds. Again, good tracking from Westchester and staying on the details. And the Golden Rams continue to lead this NCAA third-round matchup in Division II men's soccer 1-0, with the winner taking on either Adelphi or LIU Post here on Saturday. The LIU Post-Adelphi game scheduled to start right here in Old Brookville at 1 p.m. Eastern. And on the entry, slipping up there is Andrew Slater. Possession belonging to Charleston. Perez. Manuel Perez. Now the layoff for DeMero, who tried to give it back to him on a 1-2. Cabral. DeMero had his man sealed off. And this one blasted into the corner, and it will be a corner for Charleston. And here comes the fifth of the match for the Golden Eagles. They have not played one short yet. Here comes the service. It's a low one to the near post. The layoff to Cabral. Back to the short side and a wasted chance. And Charleston has not been dangerous on their 5 corners. As Marshall sends it down. Ramon. Perez as Phelps chases. And this one beautifully redirected off of Phelps by Perez. And it'll be the 6th corner for Charleston. So a flurry of them now, 3rd of the second half. And we played into the 15th minute, 60th minute overall. Cabral, this one much better, had to be punched out by Marshall. Gautier lays it along. As we had a whistle and the ball, I guess the ball carried out much sooner. And look at how far Danilo Diaz will get sent. Quick toss into DeMero. Cabral to Tracy. The return to Cabral. At wide, a recentering opportunity, and it comes right in off the foot of Perez onto Marshall. David Acherandio was able to play it back inside. As Cabral tried to lead Diaz, and you may be hearing Coach Michael Ben yell out to his players, that was too much of an open opportunity, and communication vital for Westchester as they pass players off. And what it made thrown it off there was the long, or the much closer throw for Diaz than expected. And Westchester may not have been quite settled and marking up their players. And Michael Ben is going to bring on 2 substitutes. Here's a potential turnover. This shot, and it's blocked. Sliding block made by Ramon for Thompson. And the follow-up is blocked off of a Charleston body. A poor touch by Charleston, and Stephen Thompson was bidding for his second. Jody Ramon was able to block it. So Westchester gets its first corner of the match. And they look for the center back there, Potts. Chance for Charleston to counter. Perez, he's got Cabral. As he lays it across, it'll be DeMero. Tam DeMero cutting it back across. Then Perez. Perez back for DeMero. And he could not get it to him. A dangerous counter by Charleston. And that might be something the Golden Rams think about in case they get another corner, whether or not to just play it very safely. Off the deep throw, Charleston with Diaz. Perez able to sidestep a defender. Now Jordy Ramon. Cabral out in space. David Acherandio. And again, a good ball out wide. Tracy, the layoff looking for Perez. Perez, the recovery, then turns and fires off target. 2 subs for Westchester. Brent Miller returns at a midfield spot, and Shane Hardy will replace Doug Gautier as the striker, with Gautier and Jason Pixley exiting. DeMero, and through traffic, was hoping to draw a foul, but referee Thomas Snyder not buying it. Cabral able to get past Phelps. Cabral the layoff. Perez. DeMero, a strike, and it's a great rip over the top. Sammy Phelps appeared to lose his balance, and that sprung Cabral DeMero with perhaps Charleston's best 2 chances today. Tam DeMero, 3 goals and an assist this season. Diaz service. And this one is off of the very top of the netting. What a final 25 minutes we have for you here at LIU Post, with 2-seeded Westchester trying to unseat the defending national champion, University of Charleston Golden Eagles of Charleston, West Virginia. Over the top is Shane Hardy, was looking to win it. And stepping back to the inside, Gonzalez. Diaz. As DeMero, who has now played a right attacking forward position. Ball is sent out wide for Acherandio. Perez. And Perez, there's a good read, and then there'll be the foul against Leon Croix, and a little extra. Well, check that rather, Javier Gonzalez. And Michael Benn reminding the
Yellow card assist to Charleston, number 15, Javier Gonzalez.
As DeMero was looking to win it. Ball sent in by Miola. Loose ball sent ahead. Thompson almost broke it. As Michael Benn gave the explanation on a yellow card, you don't have to necessarily stop the clock. But in this case, it was at 24:09. So the yellow card assist on Javier Gonzalez of Charleston. Game's first yellow. Gonzalez punches it outside. Cabral laid it along for Tracy. Then he could not get the return inside. Ramon will win it. Williams Enda to Croix. And a good read there from Craig Potts to disrupt it. Back it comes to Ramon. And Cabral so dangerous when he has so much space. And now DeMero switches to this left side. Ramon slips it in for Cabral. On the turn, Tracy. The return by Perez for Tracy. Could not get it to him. And Perez, good ball outside for Diaz. Danilo Diaz, edge of the 18. Diaz rips it off the body there of Potts, the help defender. Corner number 7 coming for Charleston. And the Golden Eagles will make a substitution as Armando Tikvik will come back in, replacing Manuel Perez. And Perez with a very good touch as a midfield, another possession-based player. And it's a left-footed in-swinger. The head ball was by Ramon, off target. Head ball captured by Gonzalez. Ramon plays it in off the body, and it comes down to Cabral. And then Cabral able to step inside of Slater and draw the foul. Very subtle by Gabriel Cabral. It'll be a quality restart. And now a little extracurricular off ball. Thomas Snyder is going to try to find out what happened to Javier Gonzalez. And Gonzalez, he may be fortunate there's no replay. That may have been a dive. This ball ahead, Marshall at the apex of his jump was able to handle that ball off the foot of Tikvik. Cabral ahead for Potts. And out wide, Brent Miller. And Miller could not get onto the end of it. And Miller comes in with great speed. Westchester just looking for a jolt of energy. Ramon. And over the top for Acharandia. And David Acharandia, he'll get the touch off of, no, they'll say it's going the other way. Miller, and he'll drop it back nicely. Shots are 7-2 Charleston, including 6-1 in the second half, as that ball is sent ahead, and it's off the body of a Golden Eagle. So here comes just the second corner for Westchester. And the last time, the Charleston counter was especially dangerous. So see how the Golden Rams will handle this. Daniel Grinrod will have the service. Grinrod, good ball, and Lagallo sees it carry all the way across and out. And Michael Ben was asking for pressure there to lock it off, just to keep Charleston pinned in to their own defensive corner. Ball across, Thompson will get to it. Runs into Ramon. Cabral. Great penetrating pass for Gonzalez. Acharandia. As Phelps was able to block the service, and it's going to be a deep throw coming for Charleston. Thompson. Gonzalez finds himself with a lot of room. Service over the top. This one will be taken care of by Marshall. And good communication there as Miola allowed him to handle it. Two great scoring chances by Charleston in the second half have both come off the foot of Tam DeMero. One very early, about an 8-yard strike with some traffic in front, but this will be a deep throw coming for Westchester. Save was made by Will Marshall. And then midway through this second half, I'd say about 20 minutes in, DeMero had a strike, a rip from about 18, that went over the bar. Now Westchester with Andrew Slater having a deep throw. Slater Looks for the flick on by Potts. And this one carried across. Rather, the flick on came from Shane Hardy. And Ewan Legalo. And the interception. Colin Muller. And Muller taken down by Ramon. Acharandia. David Acharandia sends it all the way across. There's the shot, and it's blocked. What a terrific layoff by Diaz for Cabral, and Westchester fortunate to get the blocked shots. Terrific passes threaded to Diaz coming across. Corner kick number 8 now for Charleston. It is Cabral with an outswinger. At the 6, it is loose. Miller forces it ahead. And Brett Miller. And then Miller runs into the defender. Westchester will have a substitution. Next opportunity. We are now under 15 minutes to go in the second half. 1-0 Westchester Golden Rams. Tam DeMero. I believe it was Craig Potts that had the blocked shot. And one that was a pretty setup. One that you can understand how Charleston has scored so many goals this season against quality teams. At 18-0-2. Tickvick. Space for Leon Croyce. Tracy. And dummy ball played through by DeMero. He had Diaz. He actually let it make through his legs. Brett Miller to check back. And Miller looks to send out Shane Hardy. Enda back to Legalo. Acharandia. Javier Gonzalez. Thompson able to punch it away from him. And to the width of the boundary, Tickvick. Tickvick off the body. Muller. Westchester will have a substitute, Doug Gotia, to check in next opportunity. Down the middle, Acharandia. Space out wide, Acharandia. This one comes off the body of a defender in Phelps, and the cover by Marshall. Will Marshall's going to take his time before he sends it out, just out of the reach of Miller. Tickvick. And there's a good read by Colin Muller. And Muller the takeaway on David Acharandia. Looking for Hardy. And Hardy to try to accelerate with the defender falling down. And then Hardy had stopped his run. And if Hardy further accelerates, he would have made it very difficult for Charleston. Cabral. And steps into Slater. However, Ramon right back with it. Tracy. Cabral for Acharandia. Ball served across. Potts played it up in the air, and Marshall will jump up and get it before Tam DeMero could be threatening with it. Slater to the feet of Thompson. And Stephen Thompson had Miller on a through ball. It is Brett Miller with one touch. Miller could not get to the second. Great through ball by Thompson to spring Brett Miller. And then Charleston loses it in the process. We're going to have 3 subs for Charleston, 2 for Westchester. With the clock now under 10 and a half to go in the second, 1-0 Westchester. Doug Gautier, Jason Pixley, 2 starters in. Throw-in comes by Slater, and into Ewan Legallo. And Legallo with the goal kick. Ball was won by Westchester's Daniel Greenrod. Muller turning it over. Room for Freddie Tracy. Subs in for Charleston. Alex Townley, a forward that did not play in the first half. And also Christos Haralambous is the second. Thompson serves it over the top. Legallo. And Croyce was subbed out as the right back. This is a ball trapped by Greenrod. Thompson trying to spring Gautier. Williams Enda. No outlet. Has to go to Legallo. That's Arandia's pass. That's intercepted. Greenrod. Ramon has to tuck it out with Jason Pixley trying to get to the perimeter. It's a midfield throw for Westchester. We will hit 8 minutes to go. Muller on the entry. Gautier. And that was played. I think that's a mistake. That ball was played out. Gonzalez. Acharandia using the width of the field. And again, Slater able to read the pass to the middle, looking for Haralambous. Enda. And again, Andrew Slater. The holding midfielder for Westchester, the clearance. Diaz, beaten to it by Miola. Off of Gautier. Possession won by Charleston. And they sent it out over the top looking for Townley. Townley is able to win it and possess. Townley, then his strike stop made by Marshall. Will Marshall saw it, making a sprawling save. Alex Townley was able to settle it, and he had it ticketed for the far corner. 9th corner for Charleston. Cabral. Marshall couldn't get onto it. This next ball batted back, Follow-up opportunity by Diaz is blocked. And Diaz couldn't get the ball spin to him before Craig Potts clears it out. Entry to Diaz. Diaz, back heel, out to Cabral. And the pass for Gonzalez sailed through. This shot is eventually blocked by Gotia and out to midfield. Enda. So Sam Bethel, who started at center mid, he is now the right back that replaced Leon Croix. Entry to Bethel. And it appears that Charleston has kept their shape of a 3-4-3. Ramon. Ramon, ball out wide. Help came from Phelps. Phelps the clearance. Enda went up for the hard challenge, and a Westchester player is down. As the ball goes out, it's going to be a deep throw, and now we'll have a stoppage by our center referee for an injury with 5:01 on the clock. It's Doug Gotia that is slow to get to his feet. And favoring a head injury, and looks like Gotia wants to stay in the match. Michael Ben will try to get Brett Miller on next opportunity. Dawson came and then back to the feet of Diaz. As he whipped the ball across. This one punched inside the 6 by Acharandio. Cabral. Tracy looked for Townley. As he is down, ball ahead, Enda. And Gotia will come up with it. Gotia, the strike! Gotia missed! That would have iced it on this frigid morning. Doug Gotia with 4 minutes and change to go. He was able to escape from Enda. It remains in 1-0 Westchester. Acharandia. Acharandia service. Knocked down by Potts, and the volley, Ramon sends it well off target. We'll get a Charleston substitute as Ettore Balistracci. Balistracci replacing could not tell who. Looks like he will come in to play the center forward. I think he replaces Freddie Tracy. As Dan Stratford, coach of Charleston, was looking for a jolt of energy from someone. Ramon. Ramon. And this ball comes up off of Acharandio and out. Throw in for Westchester and a chance to exhale for the Golden Rams. The 2 seed in the NCAA Atlantic region, with the winner advancing to Saturday's regional final here at LIU Post. LIU Post and Adelphi will come up next at 1 p.m. right here. Some for Charleston with Tam DeMero after a brief breather back in the game. 2 and change to go. As Ramon drops it back. Bethel. Bethel ahead. This one played off the chest of Balistracci. Gonzalez to lay it down to the carpet. Colin Muller clearance. Enda with 1:45 on the clock. Charleston looking for one last gasp of a look. Westchester trying to pull off an upset and dethrone the national champs, who came in undefeated at 18-0-2. Westchester 13-2-5. Losing in the final in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference tournament. Charleston champions of the MEC. Muller winning the head ball. Ramon keeping it forward. Played off the feet of Cabral. And out off of Cabral as we have reached 1 minute. And the official wanted a brief stoppage of the clock there. Potts sent it along. Stephen Thompson will send it down, keeping it in the field of play. Enda will watch the goalie, Ewan Lagallo, as he creeps forward. To the boundary, Acharandio. Gonzalez. Phelps. Not a clean touch with 22 seconds. Here comes a deep throw for Charleston. Lagallo, the goalie, has remained in net. And an attempted service, and it'll be a goal kick for Marshall. 10 seconds left as Westchester begins to celebrate. The Golden Rams have unseated the national champs. Charleston is no longer unbeaten. Westchester is staying on Long Island. The Golden Rams hang on for dear life for a full 90 minutes. 1-0 the final.
First third round game of the day. Your final score. Westchester University 1.
Westchester outshot 10-3, outpossessed by a heavy percentage, but they hung in there and gave up very few scoring chances. Congratulations to the Golden Rams as they're advancing to the next round. They earn a chance to stay on the island. And in the third year in a row with the two programs meeting in the NCAA tournament, first time they did not meet in West Virginia, Westchester picks up the remarkable victory to move to 14-2-5. The 2 seed is through. There'll be a new national champion in Division II men's soccer. And for Charleston, just the 4th goal they have conceded all season. And that's the one that buries them. Ewan Lagallo, just the 2nd goal he had allowed. Charleston's year finishes at 18-1-2. An incredibly talented team that will likely have multiple All-Americans once they're announced at the end of the season. Will Marshall had to make one great save early in the first half, and then later on a very good save with about 4 minutes to go, and Alex Townley to seal this and then hold on for dear life with possession. Smiles all around for Westchester, almost in stunned disbelief how the Golden Rams got it done. A Stephen Thompson goal is the difference in the 13th minute. A brilliant kind of a strike, the kinds that you dream about in practice when no one is watching. Well, Thompson was able to pull it off. Thompson's goal, his 5th of the season, will be one he will never forget. So the Atlantic region has been settled. They're off to the next round. They'll find a chance to watch the Adelphi postgame coming up. Sophomore Stephen Thompson, the game-winning goal today. That'll do it. My name is Ralph Bednarczyk. Thank you so much for watching our coverage here from LIU Post. Coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll bring you the Adelphi LIU Post game between a pair of long-time Long Island rivals from different conferences. LIU Post, the story being this is the final year of the program with the merging of the Brooklyn and Post campuses scheduled for next year. This will be it for Division II men's soccer. Can they continue a magic carpet ride and get through Long Island rival Adelphi?